It's often noted when someone gets really deep into something, they might care more about the finer details of the work or the minutiae of something. You may have noticed this when you send someone an album of your favorite band, and they might say, wow, all these songs sound the same. You don't think that. You care about how the instruments work, how the tempo works. You know the differences of all those songs. In gaming, nothing is similar to this or exemplifies it as well as versioning. You may have noticed this when you go on BoardGameGeek, where you will click on Own, and it might ask you what version you own. Often, it might just be a difference of language. Sometimes there's English First Edition or German First Edition, but there's many other differences that we are going to look at today. Sometimes it's just a prototype versus a published version, and maybe the differences are some art. Obviously, maybe the back isn't done, and some components might be worse or more prototypey, and definitely some rules changes or some additions to the game, as you can see in Bug Council. That is a very good example. Sometimes the changes from first edition to later editions are just because it could have been a small print run, so no new gameplay changes, or the art's pretty similar, as evidenced by American Bookshop, where these editions are, as you can see on the outside, this one is just kind of a box, whereas this one looks actually like a book. And what's funny about it as well is the books in this edition are actually different than the books in this edition, even though the graphic design is pretty similar. Other ways you can change stuff, and this happens a lot from games that come from a different country or move to a different country, like in this one, is maybe a retheme and a re-art. So you got Catty, which is about mice and cats, and this one, 9 Lives by Allplay, has changed it to where it's kind of just mostly about cats. And as you can tell here, there's sometimes even some form factor changes, which is evident in the other example we have here, is sometimes different versions have wildly different form factors. I have Black Spy here, Alan Armour, and this one, the older one, is in a size that you really do not see in card games anymore. As you can see if I do this, it's about 4 times as big as this one. And also, again, kind of a funny size for a card game nowadays. Speaking of, Bottleland has a lot of different editions. I think Madigo even has a new one coming out soon. But as you can see here, look at this form factor. This one's about, I want to say 9 times or so. In addition to form factor, you could have a deluxe factor. So we have Count the Box, and this one has, instead of cards and cardboard tokens, you actually have dual-layer boards and kind of pieces that go out. Sometimes the only thing that changes for those deluxe components, like this one, because this one has the same art, Shinigami Preschool, is the cards in this one, some of the important cards are foiled. So same gameplay, same artwork actually, just the production has a little bit of the foiling in the cards. Sometimes the version's interesting because it's included in a different game. So as you can see up here, Niet is in Mew and lots more. So you might have the standalone version of Niet, but you might have it actually in this compendium. And finally, a really good example here is maybe a name change in addition to kind of like art in a theme change. This was 535, and it got changed to Oh Meow Bao, yeah, Oh Meow Bao, which changed both the title and added the dogs, but the gameplay's still the same. So today, we are going to be talking a little bit about Skull King. Skull King has had many, many, many different versions. I just have these two here. These are both the Grandpa Beck versions. And before we talk about it, because it is designed by Grandpa Beck and it is a classic, let's go to the table and show you how to play. Skull King is a trick-taking game. It has a bunch of cards. Some of them are special, which we will cover later. But it has 3 suits. It is green parrots, gold treasure, and purple maps. These are just normal suits in the game, and there's also a trump suit in the game, which is the Jolly Roger suit. These suits go from 1 to 14, and the game is must follow. So if someone plays a card of a certain suit, and you have that suit, you must play it, and then the highest of the lead suit would win, unless maybe one of these players didn't have purple. They could play a trump suit, and then that would win. The highest trump suit would win. They would collect the trick and then lead to the next trick. The goal in Skull King is after you get dealt your cards for the round, you are going to be bidding simultaneously on how many tricks you think you're going to win. The interesting part about the game is that you get dealt more and more cards as you go. So as the hands get later in the game, you'll actually be dealt more and more cards. So in the first round, everyone gets dealt one card each. They will look at it, bid on whether they think they're going to take 0 or 1 tricks. And this will happen simultaneously. So it'll go yo ho ho, and you'll put out either a finger indicating that you think you're going to take a certain amount of tricks, and that's how many tricks. So in this case, 1, or you could do 2 or 3 later on, or a fist, a closed fist, meaning you're going to take 0 tricks. So everyone's going to do that. So maybe there's 2 people who think they're going to win, or a bunch of fists, right? And then afterward, to the left of the dealer, they are going to lead. And then obviously in the first one, players are all just going to play their cards. This is just 1 card. And then the person who wins the trick is going to take the trick. And you're going to see if you hit your bid. We'll go into scoring later, but before we do that, we do have to cover some of the special cards in the game, because there's more than just the 3 suits and the trump. There are pirates, flags, a pirate and a flag, and then the titular Skull King. The Skull King is the strongest card in the deck. If it's played, it just wins no matter what. The escape pirate flag are the weakest cards in the game. They lose no matter what. And then you have these pirates. Pirates are the second strongest, so they lose to the Skull King, but they beat anything else. And if there's multiple pirates played into the trick, it's the first played pirate that will win. There's a handy dandy player aid here that shows off if you have a normal suit, it gets beaten by the trump, which is beaten by the pirates, which then, as you can see down here, the flag loses. The flag or pirate can choose when played, and then the Skull King wins everything. A special thing about the game is it is must follow, so if it's played green, you have to play green, but these special cards can be played whenever you want them to be. If one of these special cards is led, everyone can just play whatever they want, but if an escape special card is led, the next card that's not an escape or pirate will dictate the lead suit, and then players would have to, if they could, follow suit off of that lead suit. In the first round, players are going to be dealt 1 card, but after you bid and play that trick and do the scoring, you will then be dealt 2 cards, and you'll shuffle back in the cards from the previous rounds, and then you would redeal always 1 more card. So this would be the second round. Jumping much further forward, let's say we're in the 5th round, players are going to do the same process. So they're going to look at their hands. Maybe this player here is looking at their hands, and they see 2 trump, some pretty low other cards. Maybe they think they're just going to take 1 trick. So that's what they're going to do. They're going to bid 1. This player over here sees a little bit more trump. Maybe they think they're going to bid 2. This player over here has a high 14 and a trump. Maybe they bid 1. And then finally, this player over here has a 13, but nothing else. They're going to go 0. So left of the dealer, bid will start, but everyone actually builds simultaneously. So yo ho ho, and we do all our things. So this player over here was the 2, 1, or sorry, the 0, 1, 2, 1. How you keep track of this is with the score sheet. So as you can see here in the score sheet, you're going to write down player names. Here's the first round. You're going to write down their bid and then how many they got after, and then you're going to write down the score here. But again, we'll get into scoring later. So after everyone's bid and you write down the bid, you can pass out bid reminder cards that are super useful. So 2, and then this one, player bid 1, 1, and 0. So then the player left of the dealer is going to lead. They want to pull out trump. The player who thought they were just going to bid 1 is playing their low trump. This player who said 0, they don't have anything, and so they want to get rid of their highest card because it's not trump, so they're going to lose it. This player over here thinks maybe they win their 1 and they try to get out of it fast. So they'll collect the trick. They'll lead a low yellow. This player can play whatever they want. Maybe they're a little nervous now that they might not win. So maybe they play their trump. Player up here has to follow suit, and then this player over here also has to follow suit. This player will collect the trick. This player over here is going to play purple. This player thinks this is the one trick they're going to win. They're hoping to do it. This player follows suit. And this player, who perfectly mixed their tricks with their cards, is going to play the 11 there. So then, this player did hit their bid, which they're very happy about. They only have these left, so they're gonna maybe want to play low. This player over here is a little nervous because they're now currently taking a trick. This player, who had 2 trump, is also super nervous because they don't want another trick. But this person, thankfully over here, is going to take it. Then they're going to play the last card each. And this person, sadly, had just too much trump. So, how the scoring works is, you will look at whether you bid 1 or more, and if you hit your bid or not. So, this player right here, they bid 1 or more, they bid 1, and they hit their bid exactly. If you hit your bid exactly, you get 20 points per trick. So this player over here got 20 points. Over here, this person did the same, hit their bid exactly, but they bid 2, so they actually got 20, 20, they got 40 points. If you miss your bid and you bid 1 or more, you don't get any positive points, you actually get minus 10 points for the amount off. So this player was 1 off, so they lose 10 points. If you bid 0 and you hit 0, like you didn't take any tricks, you're going to get 10 times the round number. So this round, because there were 5 cards dealt, was round number 5, so this player actually got 50 points. So 50, 40, 20, minus 10. If they actually took a trick, so maybe look like this, they would look at the round number, and then they would lose that many points. So that's actually minus 50. In addition to the bidding points, the players are going to look at the cards they captured, and they're going to see if they got any points. This player actually down here did. So all the 14s in the game will have a 10 plus 10 on the bottom. So that is 10 points there. And I should say that's the normal 14s. The Jolly Roger Trump suit actually is a 20 pointer. And then players get points also if the Skull King was played in the same trick as a pirate and the Skull King captured a pirate. And it's also dependent on the pirate. The Skull King will capture 30 points per pirate captured. So if this happened, they would get 60 points. And that's mostly how to play. We can, now that we have maybe a little bit of pirates, shuffle up some of the cards back in and see what the hand would have looked like with some pirates. So let's actually do that real quick. Say it's this person's lead, and they decide to lead with a pirate. And so everyone can play whatever they want. So this person over here thinks they're going to have a tough time getting their trick, so they're going to play low. This person over here, for some reason, bid 0, even though they had the Jolly Roger, so maybe we'll swap them. And they don't want to win that many tricks, so they have a ton of them. So they're actually going to play this pirate here, because it's first in. And this person down here really wants to win some tricks, so they're just going to play low. This person collected the trick. But if you didn't maybe pirate and we had a more normal trick, maybe it comes to this person, and they think, hey, maybe this is a good time to win their one trick, because not only are they kind of messing over this person, even though that person has 0 now. Oh man, this whole example is all goofy. But they're going to get that 10 points. And then this person over here, they have 0 now, so maybe they want to play their trump. And so play like this would continue as normal. And what was nice was, even though it was lead purple and this person had purple, they were able to play the Skull King because, again, the special cards can be played whenever they want. Speaking of special cards, let's cover what comes in the expansions. So if you are familiar with the game, you can then include mermaids, loot, and the Kraken. The Kraken is very simple. It's just like the special cards, you can play it whenever, and it just wipes the trick. Everything gets discarded, and the player who is to the left of the player who played the Kraken. Next are these loot cards. So these loot cards, interestingly, function similar to the flag cards, which you can see on that pirate or just as themselves on that card. So they work like this. You aren't going to win, but the player who collects this, so let's go to a normal trick here. Maybe it was lead purple. You play this, so maybe just for fun, we'll have that flag come in it. So high is a lead suit, 1, because there's no trump, no any other craziness. So this person is going to take this trick. And then the person who played the loot card and the person who took the trick are now in an alliance. So this person over here that took the trick, they need to hit their bid, and the person who played the card needs to hit their bid. And if that happens, if both those things happen, both players then get 20 more points each. The final thing is the mermaids. So the mermaids will win unless a pirate gets played, then a pirate will beat a mermaid. But the mermaids can actually beat the Skull King. So the Skull King is no longer the strongest card in the game. It is now only strongest when no mermaids are out, but if there is a mermaid, it gets taken by the mermaid. And if these are all in the trick, like a pirate that usually just beats a mermaid, and a mermaid beats Skull King, and Skull King beats a pirate, the mermaid actually will win the whole trick. These came in this version of the game, talking about versions. So this is the legendary expansion to the original Skull King. What I taught without the mermaids and the kraken and the coins was just Skull King. So these add the legendary expansion, which the mermaids were part of the Schmidt-Spiele edition of the game. But now, with the Skull King legendary expansion, all these are in it. In addition to that, the new edition of that, the Skull King here, this will have not only a pie recipe promo, which we'll talk about later, but also it comes with the whale, the white whale card. What the white whale card does is it immediately turns the trick kind of a little bit on its head. So what it does is when played into a trick, it turns all the special people into white flags. They're super scared of it. So the Skull King, the pirates, the mermaids are just really, really scared of this creature. They become white flags and cannot win. And then all the other cards are quote unquote turned white. So if this were the trick, like this is now white flag. This is what turned it into everything, but it's not part of winning the trick. And now, since these are both just white, it's actually highest number. So it turns the game into highest number and no special powers. What's interesting though is if the kraken and the white whale are in the same trick together, they actually are mortal enemies, and it's the later played between these two that it will actually win the trick. In addition to this, in this new version, there's actually something called rascal scoring, which has to do with hitting your bid or not. So let's say in this example that we had that same thing happen. This person over here took 2 tricks on accident, and everyone else made their bid perfectly. So how it works is, no matter what you bid, you're going to get the same amount of points. So in old Skull King, you got 20 points per trick. So if you were bidding 1 or more, you wanted to bid kind of higher, because if you hit that bid, you would actually get more points. And also a 0 bid near the end was kind of like a shoot the moon thing, because it just got more and more valuable as the rounds went on. But the rascal scoring, it makes it so your potential score is the same no matter what. So it's still 10 times the round number. So in this round where it was 5 cards, everyone has the potential of scoring 50 no matter what your bid is, no matter if it's 0, 1, or 2, or whatever it may be. How the scoring works is if you hit your bid, you get 10 times the round number no matter what your bid was. So in this case, 50, 50, 50. And if you miss it by 1, if you're off by 1 either over or under, you get half. So this player right here, we get 25. And again, it's 10 times the round number. So if this was the first round and everyone only could get 1 trick or not, you would still get the same amount of points. So like 10, like if it looked like this in the first round, which the math doesn't work, but stick with me. It would be 10, 10, 10, 10, and in this case, this person would get 5. If you miss it by more than that, boop, you actually get 0. So this person gets none. And the bonus points from like cards you capture and stuff, it works the same way. So if you hit your bid, you get the full bonus points. So if you got like a 14 of one of the base suits, you would get 10 more points. But if you're off by 1, like this person maybe in here, they got a 14 of a base suit, you actually get half. So it's the same thing. So they would actually get 5. And then again,
if you're off by more than 1 in any direction, you just get 0. That's the new Rascal rules. There's also a wild thing where when you are bidding, you can also do Grape Shot, Open Hand, or Cannonball, Closed Fist. Open Hand is standard Rascal scoring, but Closed Fist is then actually you get 15 points for each card dealt if you bid correctly, as opposed to 10. But if you're off by 1, you get 0. So it's kind of like, I don't think I need the leniency. I think I'm going to hit it exactly. I might as well get 5 more points. So, for example here, if this was the first trick, we shall do this just because it's a little easier to keep track. If this is what it looked like in the first one, and this person right here did Grape Shot, they would be normal. So they would get 10 points. But if this person over here did Cannonball, they would get 15 because Cannonball is kind of risky. If this person over here did Cannonball, they would get 0, but if they did Grape Shot, they would get 5. There's also 2-player rules where you shuffle and deal, and you'll have kind of a deck of sorts where they will flip over the top card and be a part of the game randomly, but then only the 2 players are bidding. Second to last thing to talk about in the variants and variations, you also have pirates, which we have already talked about, but notice how these pirates are different. So each of these pirates actually has a special ability. So Henry can wrestle panthers and crocs for fun, so no one will oppose him. Their ability is you may change to your bid plus or minus 1 or leave it the same. Rascal of Roatan is a notorious gambler with suspiciously good luck. They can bet 0, 10, or 20 and earn points if you bid correctly, lose them if you fail. So you're kind of wagering on how well you think you're going to do. So you can kind of get more points if you hit your bid. And Juanita Jade, which is funny because 2 J's, but you go Hua and then J, maybe it's Hade, gets to look at the cards not dealt for the round, so they get a bunch of information. And I should say, you get this ability when you win with that pirate. You don't get this ability if you just play it. So actually, in the first round, this wouldn't really come into effect, but if in the second round you play this in the first trick, then you can learn so much, even though you're going to play that last card you have no matter what. So kind of still works. But again, you only get this if you capture with it, not whether you capture it or whether you play it. And the very, very last thing is there are actually variable card counts. So instead of playing 1 to 10 rounds, which I don't know if I've said that's how the game ends yet, you can play a different amount of rounds, like even keeled. You play 2 rounds each of 2, 4, 6, 8, and 10. So kind of a interestingly more staggered way to get there. You're going to be playing overall more cards and have a longer game, but you'll be able to play 2 twice and then 4 twice. So you kind of sit with the hand size a little bit longer. You have skip the barrel, so you just do 1 round each of 6 to 10, so a shorter round, and you get to kind of the meat of the game. Swift and Salty is 5 rounds of 5, so a little bit quick and kind of in the middle there. You have Broadside Barrage, which is 10 rounds of 10 cards each. So, whew, you're playing a 100 card game. That's a lot. And then Whirlpool, you play 2 each of 9, 7, 5, 3, 1. So you're going backward. And you're playing kind of less than that even keeled, which is wild. And then Past Your Bedtime is 1 round of 1 card per hand plus a good night hug. Wonderful. And again, if you have any questions, call Grandpa back.
What's also fun about my editions is this one specifically is actually signed by Grandpa Beck. I went to a tournament early in my trick-taking career, and I signed up for a Skull King tournament. I was getting more into trick-taking games, these wonderful games that are like Hearts, which I grew up on, and I joined it not knowing the rules. And I sit down, and if you're familiar with Skull King, as if you've watched this video so far, you are, I was given, in the first round where you get 1 card, a pirate, which is a very strong card. Really only loses to a few cards in the game. And I bid 0, and I obviously won the trick. And people looked at me and were wondering what was going on, to which I said, I don't know the rules fully. Much to the chagrin of a lot of people at the tournament, as you could expect. Thankfully, I learned on the fly, and about the 4th or 5th hand, I was doing okay, and actually got maybe 3rd or so not too bad. those first few rounds were definitely a rough go of it, and maybe without them, I would have done better. But it was a lovely memory because afterward I got to meet Grandpa Beck. I bought the game at the tournament, and he signed it and was a very gracious, very kind person. And it's fun to see and compare these two editions. But first, as you know me, we have to make this into the right size, if you know what I mean.
Here we have the new edition of Skull King, and as you can see, there's a fair amount of components. So we have this recipe promo, which we'll talk about later. You have the rule book, the sheet that you write the rules in, the bid reminder, you have the player aids, and then you have these cards. But look at this box. Look how much wasted space is in this box. And if I put the cards away like I normally put games away, I just slide them on into the box, because I mean, setup's just this. That's setup. So when you put the cards away, how I just put it away, and then you close the box, there's all this air. You can hear the air. So what we're gonna do is we're actually gonna cut this down. You know how we know how to cut this down. We're gonna save the space. Actually, and if you look at all these cards, there's a ton of wasted space. Like all you need is that. Like this is all wasted space. This is redundant. So we're actually gonna cut these cards down as well. We're gonna cut all this down and make this very, very tiny. So as you can see, we've got our scissors here and measuring out exactly what we need for the card here. We just need to cut off that symbol. Perfect. Goodbye, Skull King. Because I mean, we have the symbol. It's really all we need to know, so we can throw this away. So I'm gonna do that for all of these and then fast forward. I'm just hoping this is left-hand friendly at the end of the day. I think I might start doing 2 cards at once. Perfect. Let's try 6 cards at once. Oh no, it's too much. Okay. Ooh, some replacement cards. It's pretty useful, just in case I ever kind of scratch them, or if I ever, deface any of my cards. That'll be really helpful to have some replacement cards. Alrighty, here we are, the final cut. So, this is looking pretty good. That wasn't too bad. I'll time the lap. So, this isn't too bad to sort either, look. Alright, and then you get 1, 1, 1, 1. And so, looking at it, okay. Oh, crazy. Yo, ho, ho, ho. How'd I do? Oh, I would have done so well, too. Well, now that we know it works perfectly, we have these. So then we are just going to look at our box here. And we're going to see how much space we need. Not too much, not too bad. Oh, we do have to remember, we want to include the bids. So there's a lot of wasted space from the bids. Maybe we could cut these down as well. And we probably have to use those as our indication of size. What else do we have? We have some player aids. I wonder if we could actually cut these as well and maybe piece them together. Yes, and then we have this, rules, and the sheet, but we'll get to those later. So let's first do these. I'm glad I did the laugh. So here we go. Oh no. Okay, new rule. Be cognizant of the back of the card. Perfect. It is 2:30 in the morning, by the way. Okay, not bad, another lap. So now we want to handle these situations. What's interesting is it's same front and back. So I'm wondering, I think if we just cut it in quarters, players can probably just puzzle together the player aids. So let's just cut these in quarters for now. What's an added bonus that I didn't really expect was that all these things I'm cutting are different sizes, so that it'll be really easy to sort once they're in the game. Okay, so now we want to resize. Just make sure we laugh there so we know how long everything took. We want to resize to our biggest thing. I think the player arts are actually the biggest thing. So I am wishing we could just maybe take a photo and send it to everyone I play with. That way this wouldn't be in the game, but let's try it out. So we have this, we have our bids, slightly different size 0 here. Let's go in there. And then the cards can probably just go on top. So that means this has to be half what it is, and then we need a score sheet as well. So what I'm thinking is, it's gonna be hard to kind of bend in half. Maybe we just, as you can see here, it just says, have a question, call us. So maybe we just go with calling Grandpa back anytime we have a question. So now we can throw this away. We're just gonna have this right here with the hotline, the Grandpa Beck hotline, and we can just call that up perfectly. So we're gonna fold that in half. It's a nice little picture of Grandpa Beck there. Boom, there's all the rules we'll ever need. And then look at this, the score pad. So the score pad, we just need one of them. And we can fold this up pretty well. Cool, okay. So, looks like we only need, fit that in. We just do that. Okay, fit that in, we need about half. Let's use that as the marker. So let's take this back out. Again, we do our patent pended. Do we want the Skull King or the art? I wonder what we want. So actually, if we just do the bottom here, it won't say Skull King anywhere. So I think we actually have to do the top. Okay, so we'll do the top. And we're cutting it perfectly there. So we want there. So we're gonna actually start cutting there. I'm going to go get my measuring. So be right back. We're gonna pause this. Boop. And we are back. So we want to cut along here. I wish I had an X-Acto knife. Oh, this is actually really hard to do like this. Oh, come on, come on, come on, come on. If I just believe it'll work, it'll work. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. Okay, well, we kind of cut, sort of cut. So I'm going to do the other side. So now you have to measure the lip. So actually, I'm just gonna score this edge. That looks about right. Okay. Bend it down. Perfect. And we're just going to actually cut across here. Perfect. Look at that. So we got the lid now. Skull King, Skull King, Skull King, which is good. Nice. Now we have to do the bottom. Let's lap again. blow away. Oh no, I tried to blow away some of the dust and I got the trash mixed with the games. Oh goodness, oh goodness, oh goodness. Okay, I'll do that. That's a better method. Okay. Yeah, okay, cool. Here we are. We're gonna get some tape. Look at that. Grandpa back. Here we come. So, we got that. So now, we just do the classic method. Just dump everything in. And it fits like a charm. I mean, you got some trash on accident in the way. So you probably got some trash in here, but overall, look at that. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that. We have, oh wait. Oh no. Part of the rules. Yeah. You're gonna put your big stuff on top. So you want your rules, just in case you want to do rules, refresher. You put your rules on top. Okay, perfect. Rules, player sheets. I need to tape that once, but look at that. Look. Ooh. Look at that. Pretty good. Pretty good. We got halved. We halved the size perfectly. And look, you're like, hey, wanna play? Okay, boom. Get this out. Got your whole score pad ready. Any rules questions, just grab a telephone. We love that. And yeah, we start the game. We just close it around, shuffle, deal one each. Yo ho ho. Oh, okay, you bid 0. You bid 1. You bid 0. This is easy. Oh, you want to know how to play, or you had a rules, or you needed a rules summary? Yeah, that's easy. Here we go. Rules summary. Here it comes. Rules summary. The times it takes. Yeah. I mean, you might have a couple redundant rules, but yeah, look at that. Pretty close. I don't know where the other one at the top right is, but I mean, it's not hard to. And if everyone's doing this, it's actually like, there you go. And then you play that. Oh, interesting bid with the 0 the thing. But that is now how you can perfectly clean up and set up your new edition. Look at that. And time.
I've played Skull King 14 times on a non-review copy at player counts 4 through 6 in a non-tournament setting, and then at 6 through 7 in a tournament setting. If you're curious, the tournament rules that we used, we played 1, then 2, then 3 hands, all the way up to 10, the classic standard Skull King rules, but we also played with the Kraken and the Mermaids. As you can see by some of the added hierarchy that the Mermaids adds, I think it's a wonderful, wonderful addition. I also love the money, the loot. It also adds a good level of camaraderie amongst the players, which I love in a trick-taking game where you're randomly a partner with someone. I don't, and all the tournament players didn't at the time, like the Kraken card. I think it adds a little bit too much wackiness, especially at the early hands where you can't have too much predictability if it's going to be in or not because so many cards are undealt. In fact, also, if I play Skull King, I'm kind of like T. Garcia, who likes to play with the start at 6 variant that's in the back of the book. Some of the other variants are very fun. I don't know if I would ever play the play 10 hands of 10 cards each variant, so 100 cards sounds like a lot, but some of them where you mix up, maybe you go even, 2, 4, 6, 8, and then 10. That's fun. It's nice to have a shorter, but still get that feeling of the Skull King escalation. I also do think it helps to teach players the game. If you do have someone new at the table, I would still recommend playing 1, then 2, then 3, then 4 rounds. There's a good way to build people up. They get a sense of the game. Also, since the points ramp, because you get 0, you can get 0 and hit 0 and get a ton of points, that there's a nice learning curve where you don't have too much stress in the first round. If someone is new, they can really see how the game plays. Also, I did play with the new scoring. The new scoring is very interesting. You have the same potential points. And so what that adds is it allows players to really not care about what hands they are dealt. There's the idea in trick-taking games where sometimes you'll just get an unlucky hand or a lucky hand. In this game, you can kind of still be okay because you're bidding on what your tricks you're going to take. And so you can still mitigate a good hand and a bad hand. But that other scoring, where everyone has the same potential points and you just want to hit your bid, is not only extremely fair, because then it really doesn't matter what you get dealt, it's all about the bid, but also extremely kind, definitely less punishing, because if you're one off, you still get some points. So I would almost say that the more advanced players who really, really want to care about balance should play the Rascal scoring, see how you feel. But also, it comes at a little bit of the loss of the kind of goofiness of the game. So Skull King has some goofy moments, which I think are fun. It adds to kind of the ethos of it. It has the yo-ho-ho in the bidding and the art. There's just kind of a vibe of kind of tongue-in-cheek to the game. And I think that's evidence also in the White Whale card that comes out that can make everything kind of change to highest number wins. I think that adds to it. You have maybe Skull King here with standard rules, all the player powers, all the mermaids, loot, so everything in it. And then over here is maybe Rascal scoring without the Kraken, without the White Whale. And then way over here is something like Skull King dice or Mino dice, if you're familiar with that. And that would actually be a wonderful thing to compare is Skull King to Skull King dice. Skull King dice is just wild, and I think you're actually in a wildly different mindset and expectation compared to Skull King. So I'm not going to quite cover those in this video, although it would be another wonderful video to talk about additions and their dice counterparts, maybe in the future. But overall, I enjoy Skull King. I really like how it handles a learning curve for a game, variability in how you play. There's so many variants on how you play. I didn't even talk about the pirate powers. But it has a good mix of surprise, but also still standard stuff. I will say if you want more of a trick-taking flow, I wouldn't include, again, all the powers, and I would stick to maybe the more standard stuff with the Rascal scoring. Last thing to say, I didn't buy Skull King for this recipe. This promo here, the Rosie Delaney's Blackberry Pie, I didn't ask for it. I noticed this has been selling a lot on eBay, $100, $200, and I don't know what to do with it. I don't want to give it to someone. I don't know what they're going to do with it. I don't know how to cook, so I'm not going to include it in my game. So here we are. We're just going to do it right now. That's it. That's what I did with the pie promo. Anyway, thank you so much for watching, and definitely try this out. There's a reason why it's such a classic. There's a reason why this is bringing so many people into trick-taking. Skull King is one of the great modern classics that is bringing so many people into the wonderful genre of tricking taking. Thank you for watching.